Creepypastas in the early to mid-aughts were ubiquitous on the internet. Jeff the Killer, Ben Drowned, and Squidward's suicide are the internet age's campfire stories. Too bad most of them suck my nice balls. But you know what creepypasta I'm really nostalgic for? Smile Dog.
By the way, why are we wearing bras on our heads? Ceremonial.
Rereading Smile Dog today gives me nostalgia for a time when the internet was still being terraformed, in a manner of speaking. The internet was still, for the most part, the Wild West, and you could easily separate the internet from your daily activities. Now, I work from home and have to deal with the total integration of the internet.
Look behind you.
When we get rid of the smoke and mirrors, this invention isn't so daunting. Especially now that everything on the internet can be deconstructed down to a science. Things are too streamlined, and every interaction we can track. Smile Dog isn't even plausible now. Nor was it ever. That wasn't the case back when this creepypasta was posted, and certainly not the case for when some of the parts of the story take place. Unlike the previously mentioned creepypasta, Smile Dog at one point seemed plausible, not because of its descriptive and dramatic writing, but because of our preconceived notions of what the internet was. The image, without context, is very creepy. It's a photograph with a Siberian Husky unnaturally smiling, two bloodstains on the Polaroid, and hidden in shrouded darkness is a hand reaching out in the background. The scanned nature of the image is some remarkable craftsmanship, and the grain really adds character. It's a genuinely creepy image. Its exact origin is unknown, but it's speculated to have been first posted on 4chan's Paranormal Board X in 2008. Smile.jpg is a story of our fear of what the internet could hypothetically be capable of. Despite our current understanding of technology, at one point the internet was seen as such a dangerous place. A brief summation of the story is as follows. In 2007, a college student wants to interview an estranged woman who was a system operator for a bulletin board system in 1992, where she encountered the eponymous image which changed her life forever. The image, once viewed, is said to give sudden onset temporal lobe epilepsy and acute anxiety. Those are the main side effects besides a fucking dog coming to you in your sleep and asking you to spread the word. Can you bug off? Oh god, not again! Spreading the image to others would alleviate you of hallucinating the dog and the other subsequent symptoms. That is, of course, if it is the actual original image. In this universe, the image is internet folklore with a lot of copycats. Many people would attempt to recreate this phenomenon by putting it in chain emails, evoking the folklore. Spoiler alert, the college student gets his hands on the original image through an email and the cycle continues. Now it's time for Poop Room Platitudes. This creepypasta, and most creepypastas, evoke ideas of hauntology, an examination of our present and future through viewing specters of the past. In simpler terms, hauntology is about what is there without actually being there. Hauntology is a portmanteau of ontology and haunting and was first introduced by French philosopher Jacques Derrida in his work Specters of Marx. Derrida used the term to describe the phenomena of Marx's presence still pervading Western society. Creepypasta's use of hauntology stems more from their cultural origins. Creepypasta's use of intellectual property and bait for nostalgia came from a need to use the internet as a valid storytelling medium. The internet's propensity for unverified information led to stories like Squidward's suicide being extremely popular, not in part to its source material, but how the internet allowed for its proliferation. There has never been a verified author for the story, and despite how clearly fictional it is, people were led to believe it was real due to its ambiguous origins. Unlike popular stories from the likes of someone like H.P. Lovecraft, which are well documented, Squidward's suicide relied on the medium of the internet to tell half of its story through text and the other half through speculation. Another interesting perspective related to hauntology and creepypastas are the haunted video games microgenre. Creepypastas about early Pokemon games like Red, Blue, and Super Mario 64 are constructed from the memories of players that found parts of the games eerie. The limitations of the hardware for both games often yielded unsettling results. The song for Lavender Town is a harrowing tune which was rewritten in gaming history as something uniquely sinister. The story of Lavender Town syndrome implies that binaural beats were encoded into the song itself, causing discomfort and other psychological effects. The story was intended to provoke and bring out lingering feelings of uneasiness when remembering a fond gaming memory. A perception of that song and area in Pokemon Red and Blue has forever been recontextualized by the spread of that creepypasta. Lavender Town's uneasy melody returned as a specter in the form of an internet story. As recent as 2020, we've seen Super Mario 64 make its rounds back in the form of alternative reality games and the iceberg trend. Every copy is personalized is a perfect example of hauntology. This tiny phrase evoked memories of people's first time with Super Mario 64. While we can empirically prove that no copy of Super Mario 64 is personalized, people believe this phrase evoked hidden feelings of uneasiness about the game that they had. Their memories of Super Mario 64 were tainted, for a lack of a better word, with the ideations of catered experience. People started reminiscing about how empty and creepy Mario 64 felt, how it gave them feelings of unease while playing. Some argue these feelings about their memories were just recontextualized by these recent trends. However, the loneliness in Super Mario 64 was just a byproduct of hardware limitations. Populating Super Mario 64 with more NPCs was a pipe dream. It's been proven that the code was quite sloppy due to how Nintendo handled making their early Nintendo 64 games. Even then, this feeling of loneliness in the game has been talked about way before recent hauntings of our memories. Games that came after Super Mario 64 made us reconsider how we look at the game to begin with, and as such, a new way to spike fear and unease into our perception of the game. With these examples in mind, creepypastas beckon our deep cultural memories by either recontextualizing them as short internet fiction or some type of alternative reality psychological game. Viewing through the lens of hauntology, Smile.jpg is an analog to the anxiety brought upon by the advent of the internet's omnipotence in our daily lives and the influence it has over every little thing we do. Spread the word is effectively the internet's influence pervading us, and in the story, the internet influenced them so negatively it destroyed their mental health. The broader influence of the internet is harder to comprehend today. We can parse our thoughts and speculate as to how it's changed our lives, but it's become so rapidly influential that it almost supersedes us or logic itself. Smile Dog may be an analog to something more sinister, people understanding and misusing their influence on the internet. Smile Dog is essentially the internet's sinister side manifested.
Look behind you. What is that?
Yeah, it's just I set that up for the video actually.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I tied like a fox plush toy to like a C stand, and I put a light in the backyard, and that's just all it is.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty cool concept actually. Yeah, it ties everything together and it goes with the theming of the episode.
Probably looks spooky.